Hello, welcome to the Comics Panel. Today we're here with our friend Anicia and Mike, and we're going to talk about supervillains and character development today. Mike, what's your favorite supervillain?
Well, I have a lot of favorite supervillains, but I'm going to pick one from Marvel and one from DC. The Marvel one is going to be the Shocker from Spider-Man, one of his arch enemies. I always thought that was a neat character when you saw him in the books. And my DC villain is going to be Captain Cold.
Nice.
I really like the character. He's always a bad guy, but he has a set of honor codes that he follows. Like in that one issue where he says the Rogues was the Blackest Night with the Flash, and the one Captain Boomerang or whatever, I forget who the villain was, but his father was dead and he was coming back. So he kept throwing bodies down in there, saying that he would feel a heartbeat and he was going to bring his father back. And they stumble across him and they find out, hey, there's a teddy bear there, a purse or something like that. And he said, and Captain Cold asked him flat out, did you throw any women or children down there? And at the end, he pushes them in there.
Because the Rogues don't do that.
We have a code. We don't kill women and children.
Yeah.
So I thought, he's an interesting character. I'd like to see them do more with him, not so much being kind of a villain, but somebody that kind of walks the line a little bit, because his character could pull it off if they do it right.
Cool.
Nice.
Alicia?
My favorite Marvel villain is actually now more of an anti-hero. I have to love Deadpool. I've loved Deadpool for a really long time, so I don't feel like I'm jumping
Jumping on
the bandwagon. No. He started off as a supervillain, so I think that counts. But I like the way my favorite comic book archetype has always been the anti-hero. So when he kind of morphed into that, I think it just got to be a fantastic read. But I also like him for what he's doing for comic book pop culture. I think the buzz fans have generated about him is getting people who aren't necessarily into comics interested. So February is going to be really exciting for me when the movie comes out. How about you?
Well, I have quite a few, but we'll keep it down to just a couple. Probably for DC is I go back and forth, but I am going to have to say Brainiac.
Very cool.
He's my favorite Superman villain. I know I talked a little bit about Parasite earlier, but he is a little bit of a one-trick pony, even though he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can do some things with him. But Brainiac is definitely what I see as a great Superman villain. Pretty much the opposite of Superman and much better than Lex Luthor.
Why couldn't they worked him in one of the Superman movies instead of Lex Luthor?
I don't know.
Every one
I would love to see Brainiac, actually. And as far as Marvel goes, that's a toughie. Magneto is definitely one of them.
I know.
Because he's a guy that's walked the line, like you said, and done both the hero and the anti-hero and the complete villain.
And he has a code too.
Yeah, and he's been through it all. So, so he's a great villain. And there's a lot of really good villains out there. But
and his issues, he's doing it for a reason. It might not be the right reason. He's not just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to destroy a bunch of people.
Like the Joker.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have to talk about Joker a little bit because he is my favorite Batman villain. I just like the idea that he's completely nuts and does it in a way that is entertaining.
Yeah.
Depends on who's writing it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, he's having fun with it, even though it's complete horror and mayhem.
Why so serious?
Why so serious?
And
yeah,
as
exactly.
a complete foil to the Joker, my favorite Batman villain is actually, and I grew up watching the Batman animated series. I know people, like in the movies, it was pronounced Ra's al Ghul. I grew up listening to Ra's al Ghul. Yes. Ra's al Ghul is the complete foil to that. I enjoyed the fact that he brought out a lot of the detective in Batman.
That's what I loved about
Watching Batman just kind of pummel guys. I mean, that gets old, but inserting his daughter Talia into
as a love interest type of thing, and he wanted them to be together. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a perfect character if they would have gotten rid of the Lazarus pits after like the first couple times they used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Destroy
and
the
have
pit
no one
and
else ever go
back.
into the Lazarus pit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
only
just,
him.
It's just
You know?
Well, I mean, such a cop out.
Yeah.
Like if you keep using it, it's like, guys, come on. I know you can do something else. I know you have it in you, writers. You can do something better with them.
Yeah, you're gonna make them work harder. That's all.
I'm fine with that.
Same here. Do something different instead of the same old storylines rehashed.
Yeah, really. Especially for us that have been reading comic books for a long time.
True facts.
All right.
Yeah.
So, since we're talking about this a little bit, let's go into character development and how characters have kind of changed throughout the years. Not necessarily like Golden Age stuff to modern, but just in general. There's been quite a few characters. We talked a little bit about Magneto. He's played both sides of the fence. And there's been some others. We have to talk a little bit about Punisher.
Yes.
I guess. Yes. And you had said earlier, wouldn't it be cool, Deathstroke and Punisher duking it out or teaming up or something?
A what-if story.
Yeah.
Deathstroke meets Punisher.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fun.
But it's pretty neat to see the way characters have changed. A lot of times they've gotten a lot more in depth to their backgrounds a little bit and things like that. I mean, we've seen with the Hulk when he first came out, they really didn't give an to say why he was always so angry all the time. Later on, it came out he was physically abused as a kid and things like that. And that's something that I think that maybe you couldn't do when the Hulk first came out. You couldn't say, oh, well, he was abused as a kid, or at least not directly say that. So we can see that kind of stuff happen. You know, as the comic world changed, we lost the comic code. Things became very much more popular and things like that.
Or whatever agenda's on
so,
the time.
yeah, we've seen a lot of change. Can you guys think of any character that really changed a lot? Doesn't have to be somebody you really like.
Yeah. Towards the end of Sailor Moon, the Sailor Stars arc, Sailor Galaxia, who was one of my favorite manga villains of all time, she was just she is the Sailor Moon equivalent of Doomsday,
Okay.
we'll say.
Yeah.
Just to kind of put things in perspective, because I'm pretty sure you guys aren't into shoujo manga quite as much as I am.
Not really, but that's okay.
No magical girl reading, no.
No, I like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, there we go. All right. So she would be the equivalent of the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh, I like the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
There you go.
And Dark Magician.
So, yes, metallic, gold, ridiculously superpowered. She is one of the Sailor Senshi that is supposed to help protect the universe, and she is, canonically speaking, one of the most powerful Senshi in the galaxy. She tries to fight off the embodiment of chaos, and the only way she can end up doing that is by actually taking chaos inside her. And she's like, oh, I'm powerful enough, I'll be able to keep it under control. Well, eventually chaos sort of eats her from the inside out, so she becomes this mega bad guy. I don't necessarily want to spoil things for you, but when they figure out why she is as bad as the way she is, they figure out a way to help heal her. Now, in the anime, Sailor Moon ends up basically kind of healing her. In the manga, she kind of pulls a Jean Grey Dark Phoenix and throws herself into the Galaxy Cauldron and just sort of offs herself because...
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Does she come back? Does she do anything?
No.
Like, no rising?
No, because the Stars arc is the end of the Sailor Moon series. So literally everybody is dead. Yeah, literally everybody is dead at the end except for Sailor Moon. And she's like, I can't be by myself. And eventually manages to actually bring her friends back.
Cool.
Gotcha.
If you get thrown into the Galaxy Cauldron, you can actually be reborn. It gives you a chance to start over again.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Sailor Galaxia comes back and is a little more at peace, next time and tries to... In fairness to her, though, she was a lone soldier. So when you are it, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Whereas Sailor Moon at least always had her friends to help back her up and help lend support. So
the moonbeams.
So
all right, that's cool. Mike, can you think of anything that's been a real...
I'm going to say Cyclops. I just read in the new Marvel previews
I give him so much side eye. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
I used to like Cyclops back in the day when I was reading it. He was always the Boy Scout of the group.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know he started changing towards the end when he stopped the original series, when he hooked up with the White Queen. I always thought she was kind of behind it, which that disappointed me right there. But towards the end, he became more militant, kind of gave up on everything that he ever believed in, the dream of what he was
Professor
taught for.
X's dream, yeah.
And that I found a little, like, it went 180 for his character. They never really, to me, explained reason enough why he was that way. Maybe I missed an issue where they explained that. I always thought it was the White Queen that was involved, but it wasn't.
No, I think when you realize that the guy that you've been looking up to your entire life as a father figure has been figuring out ways to kill you, I think that kind of sort of.
But wasn't that the White Queen kind of manipulating him a little bit?
I think everybody thought that at first.
Yeah, they really wanted to believe she was the bad guy in that deal.
It's been a long time
but then
now.
You could say that could really offset the character of Professor X then, did they change, his character? Because I know in the new previews, I guess after they relaunched the series again, they have the all-new X-Men, which were the original X-Men that were brought back, and they had some interesting stories where Jean Grey meets her counterpart Storm, and Storm gives her permission one time to read her mind, saying that we were friends and get the history of it. But Cyclops is back to his normal guy. Well, apparently some events have happened in the Marvel Universe that they don't like Scott. Humankind doesn't trust Scott. And in the new issue, which will come out in March of 2016, a creature is pulling or abducting the young Scott Summers, and because they don't trust him. They think he's going to grow up and become the Scott Summers of today. So
from Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah. So they changed his whole character around.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the story is going to be, but it looked interesting and it made me think of how Scott Summers has changed over the decades.
Yeah.
And then the point that Anicia brought up with Professor X and you guys, there's another character that was supposed to be the golden boy, the good guy, and now becomes a heel.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Well, at some point you have to, he literally has lived his entire life for the cause. And at some point when you're watching everything fall around you, kind of like the Sailor Galaxia analogy, like if you are a lone man, you got to do what you got to do, what you think is best. And nobody ever really
kind of went off the deep end a little bit.
Yeah, he did kind of. But you're right. Now that they're coming out they're setting things up cinematically for Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
And
that's a guess.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
I would love to see that happen because I need more Blink in my life.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Blink's a cool character.
Seriously.
Yeah. Very cool character.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. With the changing of characters, where you mentioned, since you brought up the Age of Apocalypse thing. This is just my opinion. I know a lot of other people might not agree with it, but my opinion is keep the comic book universe the comic book universe. That's what you established in those comic books over the decades and the fans have enjoyed reading. They're the ones that keep buying the books month in, month out. Not the person comes in one shot at a time, but when you decide to make a movie and you want to just throw away 30 years of history and character development because you think you can tell a better story, that's fine. I understand that. But if that movie is all of a sudden you guys, this movie's going to be successful because it has Marvel on it. Look at the Fantastic Four, for example.
Spider-Man.
And Wolverine. The earlier one, they changed some stuff. All right, well, we're going to change a character because of the movie. Well, the movie wasn't a success, but the books were a success. So if you're going to keep the movie, just because the movie is a failure or not, you shouldn't have to turn the whole universe upside down.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to that point now. I think they've established enough faith in their movies that they can make money and people are going to enjoy them and go to them. So I think we're getting to that point where they're going to have to start having a boundary and say, okay, this is the kind of stuff we're going to do in print, and this is the kind of stuff we're going to do on the screen. Well, and I don't really have a problem with that as long as I know that's happening.
Yeah.
I've figured that out by now that the movies don't always follow.
Yeah.
It just
but
goes back
you-
to the continuity
yeah.
thing in the books. I mean, that's what was one of the big selling points for collectors or people that enjoy reading it for the longevity.
Yeah, because you've been reading it for so long, you know the history of these characters.
I mean, it's a brand. I mean,
Yeah.
those characters make it.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But yeah, I think we're getting to that point now with the movies.
Yeah, so you're
I
going to see
think
a
so.
lot. You're going to see a lot more changes within our heroes and our villains based off of the popularities of the movies and what they feel.
Yeah, they'll have to really
Yeah.
change a lot for this Infinity thing coming up.
Oh, I'm so
Because they're
excited.
not going to. I'm excited too, but
So
Adam Warlock's
excited.
not going to be in it, so.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't think Adam Warlock's going to be
And
in
how
it.
does the Vision get a crystal? That's just a dot on his head. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, no,
it's
it
not
was
an
a
Infinity
it was a gem. It wasn't.
The
It was not
original?
an. No, it was not an original Infinity gem. That's
Yeah,
completely out of
because
the
the
movies.
Vision never had it.
But he did
Right.
have a
Yeah.
jewel there that they would use to charge him up. That's how he got his energy.
Yeah. But it
And he
wasn't
could
an
shoot a
Infinity gem.
light beam out of it and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I was right there with you because when the Vision was coalescing in the movie, I'm losing my little
wanted
nerd
him to
mind. I'm
be-
like,
Vision.
I wanted him to be the villain. I wanted him to be the villain halfway through that movie, trying to kill the Avengers. And then at the end, he turns, because that's how it went in the comics.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I really would have. I'd loved to seen him as a villain and just beat the crap out of the Avengers. And at the end, it's him that has to fight off Ultron.
right,
You know?
right.
And then you learn where they got his brain patterns and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
and you're right. I think I have heard that they're not planning on using Adam Warlock,
Yeah.
but he's like
I
the
know.
leader of that team, and he spins off one of my other favorite cheesy Marvel villains, which was the Goddess.
Ah.
I'm like the only person I know that really enjoyed the Infinity Crusade.
I thought it was cool. It was a little repetitious. I liked the
Well, yeah.
idea that she was using the cosmic cubes, and there was multiple cosmic cubes, and they were not the same as the Infinity Gems. I
Right.
liked that concept, and then she created the egg and blah, blah, blah. That
The
was
egg.
cool. I think they could have done a little bit better.
What was the egg for the viewers that don't know what the egg is?
The egg was literally her containment unit as she was. It was almost like her own little incubation safe
Yeah.
space, while she was gathering the energy to basically reset the universe.
Yeah. She was gathering cosmic cubes from all places of all around the universe.
Yeah.
And bringing them together to
To get the power to do that.
To do the kind of stuff that you can do with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep.
But the Gauntlet, once you have all of them, it's fairly easy. The Cosmic Cube is a little bit different. It's more like just a general power source,
Right.
as opposed to something that can grant wishes, if you want to call
Yep.
it that.
To read more about her and the cube, check out the Infinity Crusade.
Infinity Crusade.
Available in trade paperback?
Probably, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Oh,
Ron
I'm
Lim
sure.
does a lot of the art in it. I'm not sure who wrote it. I'm not sure if Starlin wrote it or not. But
There were I think there were a lot of editors,
people,
because there's
yeah.
also lots of to see what happened to the New Mutants.
Oh, yeah, they
here,
jumped it all
to
over
see
the
what happened to
place.
Spider-Man doing this here. See what was
you've
going on with the
seen the
X-Men
Infinity
here.
War. Now it's the Infinity Crusade.
Crusade. Yeah.
You know how cool it would be if they hired Starlin to help write the script for the Infinity
Oh,
Wars?
that'd be beautiful.
That would be great. He's
That
got
would be
something
great.
new coming out. If you check out your new previews, it is
Yep.
the Infinity. Oh, I forget what it's called now.
Infinity Warrior.
No.
Infinity Entity. That's it.
Entity, yes.
It's
Entity.
a 4-part miniseries.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Alan
out every
Davis
week.
is doing the artwork. Jim
Oh.
Starlin's writing it, and Ron Lim's doing a couple of the covers or something.
Yeah, that's going to be a must.
So that should be really
must-read.
good. Actually,
Yeah.
it's going to be 4 issues. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm
I'm
putting that
fans
on
of all
my
them
list,
guys.
so-
I really
Yeah.
am.
And that'll be on sale in March 2016.
So that's what they tell us. We'll have to wait and see. But some of the other characters I think that have changed a lot is Hal Jordan from Green Lantern.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
we go from Golden Age Green Lantern to Silver Age Hal Jordan Green Lantern, and then he
Parallax.
becomes Parallax, and then they becomes Green Lantern again. And
I feel
there's
bad for
multiple Green
him.
Lanterns, and now I think they're starting to tap
Yeah.
into the Parallax thing
Yeah,
again.
he has a
He's
changed
got
his
the
look, his
same
long hair
outfit
and
on,
a-
yeah. So that's another character that's really run the gauntlet and really expanded, especially the DC universe with the different colored rings and things like that. So that's another character that really has changed a lot. And there's tons of them. The best thing to do is get out there and start reading stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Support your
And-
local comic book dealer.
Absolutely.
And just go in there, pick something up. Hey, this looks good. Check it out. Or ask people for their opinions. Let us know
Yeah,
what you like
let us
reading.
know what
We
some
are
of
full of
characters.
opinions. So full of opinions.
Yeah, that's one thing we do have.
Yes. It's our gift.
My mic.
Grogan's back.
Guess
Coming
who's
back?
And he brought his friend with him.
Grogan's back.
So, what are your favorite supervillains since we left you out a little bit?
I'm glad you asked. My favorite from DC is Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Because he gives Superman a run for his money every time, and Superman can unleash on him without worrying about taking his head off with one shot. So there's always good fights with those two, and they go at it.
I'm surprised you like Darkseid.
Why?
Because wasn't it in Final Crisis that he shot those little red laser beams out of his eyes?
The Omega Beams.
Omega beams?
Yes,
and
his Omega beams.
And he got your guy, the Batman.
Oh, yeah, he
just-
killed Batman.
No, he just transported him.
Oh, yeah.
His
that's
beams
right.
can either annihilate, incinerate, or transport you back in time. That's what his power is with those beams. They have 3 different functions, and he's pretty much invulnerable. So so it takes more. It's going to be a Justice League constant fight or Superman to take him down. You're just not going to get him with one shot and put him in jail or the Arkham Asylum. Even though I do love Joker, but yeah, that's why I love Darkseid, because he's a god. He's a fierce character.
The ultimate evil.
The ultimate overlord.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he is. He rules everything by an iron fist, or rock fist, I guess, because he's made of stone. But yeah, he's my favorite one from DC, and I'll go with another popular one with Marvel. I would go Magneto. I love Magneto because he fights for a cause. He doesn't fight for money. He doesn't break open banks to steal. He's fighting for the mutant cause. So, it's not just to fill up his bank account, and he's helping people along the way. In fact, one of my favorite episodes, comics, was when he took the adamantium out of Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
beasted
that was
out
a
through his
great issue.
pores.
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, just to do all that is at the height of his power, and took it all through him and made Wolverine lose his mind, made him feral. That is the coolest thing that he did. And then
I think that was X-Men number 75.
the 75
Yeah.
with the holograms on it.
Yep.
But can you imagine getting your metal sucked out of your pores? What would that do to you? And then the question became,
Pull the iron out of your body.
right? Well, but it happened with Wolverine. People were like, does he have claws? Because they never revealed then he had bone claws. They thought the metal was the claw.
Yeah, they kind of hinted to this back in Marvel Comics Presents when they first did Weapon X with Barry Smith, did the art. They kind of hinted to that, and this was long before they did this with Magneto. They hinted about that where they took him in to do the surgery, and they're like, oh. And they never said what the problem was, but they're like, look at this, look at his forearms.
Wasn't that
and they never showed you what it was or anything like that, but it was something that they did not expect. And then they had to go back in after the operation was a success for bonding the adamantium to his bones. So they left you with that.
Oh, yeah, cliffhanger.
That
Wasn't it Origins
they
that
never
they
really said
confirmed
it,
it
but they
then?
left.
Oh, Origins confirmed it.
Yeah, Origins
As
confirmed
a little kid,
it.
he popped them out.
But even before that, it was just like 1 or 2 lines on one panel where they're saying, "Oh wow, look, this is unexpected," but they never really said whether they put him in. But the Wolverine thought himself that the claws were given to him, that they were not his naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His mind was so played with, he couldn't remember from when he
Tons
was
of
a
stuff.
small child. But that's why I like Magneto, because at his most powerful, he's deadly.
Absolutely,
If he wants to be.
most powerful mutant on the planet.
He could do a lot.
Except for Professor X, I guess they go back and forth.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, Professor's very powerful.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but if you could put a helmet on, you're negated.
Yeah.
Or if you make things of plastic, Magneto, you're
Yeah.
negated. Goes back and
Plastic
forth.
Man.
Plastic
Magneto's ultimate enemy. You are my nemesis.
Good one. Good one.
What
yes.
if Plastic Man
Oh,
fought
He would drive
Magneto?
you nuts,
Not
too.
Batman, Superman. Let's have a fight between
Plastic Man and Magneto. There you go.
who's gonna win. Okay, well, I think I covered mine and I got my mic back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Does that about wrap that up, you think?
I think so.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time, and like us on Facebook.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. And leave your comments down below. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.